We all came from somewhere, we're all going somewhere, and we're all definitely lost in one way or another, which is why each week I bring this very special guest on 20 and some change to share a little of their experiences. This week I have Mina Dunlab.
Hi guys.
Who is a bodybuilder slash singer
Slash fitness model.
Who knows? So let's see what she has to teach me.
All right, we're gonna stand up.
Okay.
So
should I be nervous for this one?
I mean, when I compete on stage and I'm being judged in my bikini, we have different poses. So when I walk out on stage, I have, my little routine, but I'm going to teach you how to do a front pose. So this is the keen pose that judges look at in their bikini.
This is like the main one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, if you were to stand just straight ahead like this.
How should my feet be?
Just kind of just shoulder width apart. And then basically put like one hand on your hip. So put your right hand on your right hip. Right. You'll go my way. Okay. And then what you do is you step out and you literally just
how?
Take your right foot and step out a little bit. Just like that. And then you're gonna face your pelvis diagonal.
Like this?
Yep.
Okay.
And you basically kind of prop your booty out because this is how they judge your glutes. Yeah.
See all this muscle line
and they see you. So imagine when you're in a bikini, you're flexed.
So you're like this.
And your hand is supposed to be kind of pretty, like that.
Pretty princess.
It took a long time for me to learn this, but then this is your front pose, and you hold this, and basically.
How long do you hold this pose? How's this leg supposed to be?
It takes practice. I'm still really I'm rusty at it now because I haven't done it in a while, but yeah. Basically, you hold it for 30 seconds until they say, and quarter turn to the right.
What if it's awkward? I don't...
It's awkward.
Okay, and then when they say quarter turn to your right, what do we do?
So then, this is the tricky part. It took me a long time to learn. You basically step in like this. Mm-hmm. You step out like this. Push your booty towards the judges. Yeah, and bring your foot back like this, and then you're just...
Wait, but my feet are too far.
Oh yeah, you slide them together at some point.
So it's like this.
So you're like this right now.
Wait, okay, hold on.
So pelvis this way.
Okay.
And then they say quarter turn to the right. And you push
bring them in.
Yep,
okay.
and then you step out, prop your booty, and then just slide it together. And this leg should be straight because
I made for this?
At this point they're judging your muscle on your leg. Yeah. So that's why. Yeah.
So they're judging you on what? A total of what? They're judging you on your ability to pose.
Yes.
The way you look in each pose.
Yes. So they're not only judging on muscle, but they are judging your posing ability, because when you're competing bikini, they want to see that you have presence. You are able to show off your presence in a bikini.
Okay.
It's all for show. It's all
ready.
Performance. So heck yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Well, let's get to it. You can grab your drink if you'd like it. So thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. All right. So how long have you been competing?
I've only done 2 shows in my entire life.
Only? That's a lot.
It is a lot.
I've never done any shows. So,
it is a lot,
so
yes.
What shows were they?
I competed twice. I did one show in Duluth, Minnesota.
Okay.
And then one show in Fargo, North Dakota.
Wait, okay, remind me where you're from.
I'm from Wisconsin.
So you're from Wisconsin, and you did your show in Minnesota.
Minnesota and North Dakota.
Okay, so how does it work? Why do you have to travel like that to compete? There's none in Minnesota that you can do?
There are some, and I sit right on the border of Minnesota and Wisconsin, so driving to North Dakota was only about 4 hours for me, and then Duluth was about 2. The reason I chose those shows is because each show has a different organization and
behind it, a big name.
Yeah, yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I did 2 different organizations because this was me getting my foot in the door. So I was like, all right, I need to sit down and do some research behind these organizations. And I did one in the NANBF organization, it's called. Mm-hmm. It's all about natural, no illegal drugs, no illegal steroids behind it. So I competed in that one. And then I did one which is NPC, which is National Physique Committee. Mm-hmm. And that's
NPC. Yeah,
the best of the best. That's the Mr. Olympia, stuff. If you've heard of Mr. Olympia, that's all in the NPC organization. So.
And so what are you going for now?
Well, I will be competing in WBFF, it's called. It's
okay.
World Beauty, Fitness, and Fashion.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's a lot.
So it's a lot different because it's more of a pageant base. Like, I tell people this and I'm like, I don't want you to think it's a pageant, but it's a bodybuilding style of a pageant because I have a pageantry background because I ran for Miss Wisconsin USA 2 years in a row, hoping that I could go to Miss USA and compete. But I was too muscular.
Really? So then you're like, okay, you're right. I am too muscular and I'm going to use this.
Yes.
Okay.
So that honestly is what got me into bikini and competing.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
So first of all, this is something that is extremely disciplined. Like you have to have a lot of discipline. There's so much that goes into this and you literally commit your life to it.
Yeah.
Which is funny because a lot of 20-somethings have a hard time with commitment.
Yeah.
So what made you, like what gives you the motivation? What made you decide that you were going to commit your life to something like this? And like, how did it start?
Yeah, it started just me really liking fitness.
Yeah, okay.
I think I just grew up and I was always athletic. I was a gymnast. I rode horses. I mean, I loved sports. And I got into Instagram and I really, really loved, following my influencers that I was following on Instagram and seeing them with their modeling and their bodies, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like, how do they get like that, you know? And it really intrigued me that as a female, people could get that muscular, and I was like...
And, like, look good, it's not
and it wasn't, like, an unflattering look, like, I mean, there's always, like, the illegal drugs that are involved in the sport, but for me, I'm not ever gonna touch any of that. I'm a natural athlete, and... I loved, when I first got into weightlifting, it was just so addicting. Like, I was just like, this is my calling. I started seeing results, like, super quickly, and it goes into genetics, too. Like, genetically, I'm very able to put on muscle, and I thank my parents for that. So, and it over time, I grew a following, and people, I think, started, following me for the fact that I could sing. I was really into weight training, and that's not really something that you see a lot of females that are into. So I think it was just different.
Right. So what keeps you disciplined though? Like what
keeps me disciplined?
There and motivated.
I almost want to say what keeps me disciplined is my fans at this point.
Really?
It's just the fact that I have so many people behind my back that are, so fascinated with what I do, and it's just like they're following me for a reason.
Right.
And it's not only do I love it, I mean, I love the fact that I'm disciplined. I wake up every day. I know my meals I'm going to be eating. I know the time I'm going to train. But, I mean, it's humbling to know that I have, like, a crew of people behind me that are like, yeah, go for it. And they're really supportive.
Yes. So. Are there ever days where you're like, I'm not going?
Oh, yeah. There are days.
So what do you do to push through that?
I mean, I'm human, and... Though I have such a passion for this, not every day is 100%. And to push through it, it comes down to my end goal. And I want to be a WBFF pro bikini bodybuilder. Like, that's hard work to get to. I want to earn that status. So to earn that, I got to work for it. So. Okay,
well, let's talk about your age. How old are you?
I'm 22.
You're a baby. You're 22. Okay, so does that give you an upper hand in the business, or does it kind of make you an underdog?
It almost kind of makes me an underdog.
That's what I thought.
Because some of these pros are, upper 20s, early 30s.
They've got a decade on you.
Yeah.
Full decade.
And a lot of judges do see that age, and they kind of... I hate to throw the politics into it, but there's politics like there is in everything.
Of course.
The judges see that age and they kind of are like, oh, she's younger compared to a lot of these other people I have on stage that I have to compare these bodies, so they look at me like, well, she's 22, she's got a lot of years ahead of her to go pro. So it's like almost like they kind of try and pick and they're really nitpicky on the younger ones.
Okay.
So
it seems like something like this where it's a beauty pageant beauty, muscular, all of those things combined into one, you would have the upper hand being younger.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to learn that you actually don't.
No, you don't.
So this is a long career for you.
Yeah. I'm just getting my feet wet into it.
You are fresh.
I'm very fresh
still
into
pretty
it.
Green.
Yeah.
And like getting to know, you know a lot, but you still have a lot to learn considering there are people still competing like years.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a sport that you would think that you would retire so young, but I mean,
because it's so hard on your body.
There is people still doing it when they're dang near 50 years old.
Okay, so that's what I was gonna ask. Like, so you have all of this time then to compete and build yourself. Not only build your character, but build your body and like become everything that you want to be. Well into 50 years old. Is there anything that you see outside of this?
Outside of me
like
competing?
Outside of you competing, like what happens when this is over? I mean, it doesn't really seem like your time clock is ticking because you have time.
You know,
like what happens when you can't compete?
Right. When I can't compete, I would hope that I'd be at a point where I have such a crew of people around me that are so inspired by me still, where I mean, it's just, I can still train, I can still write online diets and stuff for people and help other people along their journey. I don't necessarily see myself training people to compete.
Right.
Because that's a whole nother ballgame. But I do really want to help coach people to lose weight and just get on the fast track of living a healthy lifestyle. So that'll be my long-term goal, is to use my social media to
like a platform
to stimulate it and just keep it rolling.
Health. So your life will always be fitness and it will always be health.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. So what else do you do like outside of fitness? What's your life look like?
So I have a really crazy life because I am a singer.
Yes. So you have a lot going for you.
Yeah.
So.
I'm a singer. I do a lot of modeling, a lot of influencing for brands, and I would really like to get into acting a little bit more.
But you don't feel like acting or doing all of those things would take away from fitness?
It would. So I would only be able to do those and focus on those during my off season of competing. Because when I'm on season, I just don't have that extra energy to be able to put toward that stuff. I mean, I got to use every little bit of energy I have to use in the gym and to staying on track and, you know. So, but outside of it, I'm very, very, I love singing. Very involved with singing. I sing the national anthem a lot, and I want to.
What kinds of events?
Well, when I was in college, I sang a lot, like weekly for my college for the sporting events.
Oh, right. Okay.
I've sang for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and so that was cool because they were in a playoff game with the Los Angeles Dodgers. So
that's awesome.
That was fun.
How do you get these opportunities?
I auditioned for that one.
Okay.
So that was really cool considering I'm not even in the state of Arizona. They loved my voice. They flew me out and I sang. And then for my university, I think like people just kind of knew me as like the anthem girl. Like I would be out and about in town roaming the streets and people are like, "Are you the national anthem singer?" And I'm like, "Yeah.
I am.
Yeah, that's me."
That's cool.
Yeah, I've been singing since I was 14.
National anthems is like how you started?
I mean, I'd always loved singing. Like even like my mom would say, I mean, I was always singing even when I was really young, but when I really started performing was when I was 14 years old.
Okay.
So
but you still feel like that's something that you put on the back burner to your sport?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what would make it so that you would sing for like?
I mean, it'd have to be the right opportunity. Like I would not turn down a big opportunity, even if I was prepping for a big show. Like I would find a way to make it work because just like training my muscles, I have to train my vocal cords too. So.
That's a lot of different things, like really big things that need a lot of training at once. Yeah. So I see why you keep your focus on bodybuilding. Well, that's great. So you have so much going for you, and you're pretty methodical about everything that you do. I know you're very focused and and very organized with your day. Like you said, you know what you're gonna eat. You know. Probably what you're going to drink, what time you're going to sleep, when you're going to train, what you're going to do that day. And I know you have it all in a planner. Am I right?
Yep.
Like you have it all sectioned out and you have a blog where you keep people posted, right? A website. Is it a website?
Yeah, website. I tried to start getting into blogging a little bit. It's tough. I props anybody that does it. I really want to start doing it, but...
So you've got all of this stuff laid out. Tell me some parts of your life that you feel like you don't have figured out. Anything.
People always ask me how or when I'm gonna settle down, find a boyfriend, start figuring out my future, because I come from a very, like a good family.
Like traditional.
Yes. And my parents have been together since they were in high school. I have a twin sister who's in a really good relationship, an older brother who's in a really good relationship, and I'm the only one who's
you're like the black sheep of the family, but not like you're, as far as relationships are concerned.
And I always tell people I'm gonna put myself first, especially when I'm this young, because I do have a different route in life. Like, I'm taking the road less traveled, you know, and so I don't have any intentions to settle down with anybody right now, and I just am taking the time for me. But that's one of the questions I get asked a lot, is how I make time to like date or to hang out with friends. And I'm like, I really just don't.
So do you feel like you sometimes let the pressure get to you a little bit? Because it sounds like you might have a little bit of pressure. Like, do you let that pressure get to you?
I mean, yeah, it does. And, as anyone, like, I'm human, and I have my days. You have
the desire to want someone there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And like with what I'm doing with my Instagram, I mean, I've gotten hate from people back home and stuff.
Really?
Yeah,
about
because
what?
Just
because
people,
they're all so traditional. It probably where you come from, right?
Yeah.
So then if they see you not doing that, it's just them. They're just, you know exactly what that is, right? It's people like seeing something that they never thought.
But
to
the
chase
funny
after.
thing is they still follow me.
Yeah, that's the best part. Is they're really just looking at you like, wow, she's doing something no one from our town does.
Yeah.
And then they're giving you that hate, but it's really just a reflection.
Yeah. So that sometimes can get to me a little bit.
Right.
It's been a little hard to deal with lately because it's been coming out more and more lately. But I'm learning that it's firing me up. Yeah. It's making me want to just go that much harder with what I do. So I'm like, bring it on. Like,
but also, like, you're doing something right. If people are always gonna have something to say, and if they're really gonna hate on you for being a fitness like inspirer, then let them.
Yeah. And I'm sure people are like probably judging like, oh, her booty pictures on Instagram, and I'm like, I work hard for my booty.
Yeah.
Like, you
can do whatever you want.
Yeah, so...
And there is much worse on Instagram, trust us. So yeah, well, what do you think about, like, kids? Just because since you are so, like, your physique is your lifestyle, right? So at some point later down the road, could you still have children and compete?
If you even
want them?
That's one of my number one questions, honestly, that I think I get asked about this sport. And my answer is I have a really big desire to be a mom someday. I do want kids.
Okay.
So there will be a point when I do stop my training and do just let my body take over and do what it's made to do. And people do have kids and then they pop right back into it after.
I was going to say, are you going to still compete?
That's debatable, I guess. Time will tell. I don't know. This might just be something I'm going to be doing until I settle down. But if I do end up competing after I have kids, I know that my body will adapt really quickly and bounce back to what I do. So
yeah, like you said, it's what it's made to do.
Yeah.
Right? Good.
Yeah.
Well, don't let that. I mean, it's so interesting because it's like there is a lot of pressure, and also you are intentionally putting yourself in a world of like wanting people to see what you do, so then the pressure comes even heavier for you.
Even
so
more.
Like you're on Instagram, you're using that as your platform to build, right? Which is good and bad, because you've got your own shit that you're dealing with, and then you have people coming at you, and then you also see other people,
right?
But all of it can just be used as motivation, right?
Yeah, that's like I said, like it fires me up and makes me I'm like, all right, keep hating on me, because it makes me rise that much more to the top.
So besides having all of the people like showing you hate, what do you think is the hardest part about having such a big, like, so many people behind you and like watching your journey?
I think just the pressure of always having to look like I have this perfect life on Instagram and stuff, because I'm not perfect. And the truth is I do have my really hard days where I don't feel like getting out of bed. But I think, being an Instagram influencer, it's almost like pressure to look like I have this quote unquote perfect life when I don't.
But people also really want to be able to relate to you too. So it'll be good for them to know that, like, yeah, I have all of this stuff and I am awesome. However, I do have my days, like I'm still a human, like you said.
Yeah.
Like, you're still a human, so that's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But having to feel like you have to always put on a show.
Right. Yeah.
It's got to be pretty difficult.
It is, but I mean, then again, as much as I get hate, I get a lot of people reaching out, just saying, I just want to tell you you're a really positive influence in my life.
Yeah,
and
that's huge.
Those messages mean the world to me.
So that's like where your fulfillment comes from, is like seeing how your journey is impacting other people for the best.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really excited for you.
Thank you.
So excited.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see where this whole journey takes you, and thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for letting me share.
Where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Amelia Sky Fitness, or visit my website, ameliasky.com.
You got that? Awesome. Well, thank you so much for watching. Catch us on YouTube, catch us on Instagram, wherever is easiest for you to find us. But thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next season.